Do you remember the period between year 2000 and 2010? It seems blurry, right? This is what I'm going to discuss with you today. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe because I noticed there's like a huge number of you guys watching the show. 94% is not subscribed, and this is a huge number. And if you subscribe this channel, so the algorithm will know this is the type of the content that we need today. This is part of the show that I'm going to talk about algorithm. We are living in a simulation. Everything we think it's solid, it's actually not solid. It's an illusion, we usually call it. Or these days, the term change, it's called hologram or simulation. But it's the same thing that we're talking about. So why am I mentioning about year 2000 and 2010? Because if you really notice, if you're born after year 2000, of course, from 1999, after the New Year countdown, do you feel the shift? Do you feel the change? Because I was still young at the time. I was in my 20s. So I wasn't thinking much about it. But now, I mean, retrieve the memory database, it seems so weird after the year 1999. And let's say if we talk about the politics, remember we have 9/11, and this is another things I want to share with you. And I gather these knowledge or information from the field, and it downloads into my field. So that's why I started realizing and have these knowledge. If you haven't watched my last episode, I explain what its channel and downloading is about. I'll put a link in the show notes and a link in the YouTube description so you can watch after this video. Okay? So back to the shift during the year 2000. So we have 9/11 and then we have 2008 financial crash. And it's like a reset after reset, if you notice. So now I'm looking back, it seems like we have some shift going on during those time of period. Because if you are around during 1999, we were afraid of Y2K, right? Because the calendar year is changing from 19 something to 20 something. And everybody was worried about, oh, the world is going to crash. The computer is going to crash. And it didn't crash, but it shifts because this world is a simulation. So if it's simulated, then we move from one simulation to another simulation. And that's why there's a lot of glitches starting from year 2000. There's many Mandela effects. And also there's many remakes in the movies. If you notice that many movies that we like in the 70s, 80s, 90s, it got remade during that time. There's more creation anymore somehow. And this is also want to discuss what I receive from the field, that if everything we see is simulated, everyone we met is a reflection of ourselves. And what about movie stars and celebrities? They should be also a simulation. I've been learning about AI, and when I learn deeper and deeper about AI, I really see the correlation between our world and the AI or robotic as well. So right now, 2026, we know there's a lot of videos out there that is made by AI and they look so real. It's just like the movie we're watching. Okay? So my question is, if they can make something like this right now, then they can make something like that. Let's say use it in our news broadcasts or maybe movies, like I mentioned. And when I mention about movies, meaning that the celebrity, the actors, they might not be the actors or celebrities that we think we know. And That's why there's a lot of remix. Because remember this, all the technology that we use, receive in everyday life, it was once used, let's say, in the military, like CIA, FBI, and it wasn't released to the public until decades and decades later. So AI is actually already exists. AI and robotic is already exists 30, 40 years ago, even longer. So just imagine that. Just take that and then implement to what I just said. Year after year 2000, and we're living in a simulation. Everything is hologram. So everything is illusion. So if we take that and then put these two together, then what we see in the movies, what we heard from the radio station, or even the reality show, politics, it might be all came from AI. When I started learning about AI, it's not just ChatGPT, but how to train AI and how to communicate with AI. And also, we see the videos out there made by AI, and really made me question about how much our reality is real, even the movies, celebrities. And there's actually a person on Instagram, he comparing a lot of celebrities, movie stars side by side. Like, for example, Britney Spears looks like somebody else, Nicolas Cage was looking like somebody else, and so many more celebrities, Michael Jackson, or even Spider-Man, Tom Holland looks like another celebrities. So all these are very weird, strange, right? And it made me come to believe, okay, this is everything we see is not real. Not just our day-to-day life, but everything we see on the screen is not real. It's made by AI. It's it, and if we put this also in a spiritual perspective, okay, we have a different version of ourselves, and these you can either call it clone, or you can call it a different version of ourselves, just shifting bodies, okay, and or if you want to put it into AI plus robotic, then Joe Biden is a good example because we kind of see somehow he might have a face mask on. And we do see now, especially after the CES 2026, we see a lot of robots just put on a basically put on a mask. And this is already done long time ago in the Hollywood. And we, again, back to what I say, Joe Biden, right? We see Joe Biden seems to have different faces sometimes. When we can see some opening in the back of his neck at the time. Our world, we so-called reality, has been manipulated or hijacked, I believe, since the year 2000. And then we come to 2020, which is COVID. Yeah, we got lockdown. Everyone had to stay at home. And then all of a sudden, post-pandemic, AI just came out of blue, out of nowhere. Everybody's talking about it. Have you noticed that? Yeah, we're living in a matrix program. And a lot of movies that we saw, somehow it came true today. And Hollywood should really just scratch the category sci-fi, right? Because everything sci-fi today is not sci-fi, it's documentary already. In our subconscious mind, we have a memory or a data that lead us to make those type of content, lead us to make this type of movies. And I made movie myself, and my idea just came out of the blue while I was driving, and see that also downloading came from somewhere. It's not from this third dimension, for sure. If we look at around us, everything we see is a reflection of ourselves. So as within, so without. As above, so below. So everything is mirroring, right? Including the movies, including all the people you encounter. So I believe we have two major simulationship, year 2000 and year 2020. And there's also many different videos on Instagram right now. Of course, it's AI made, is bring us back to the 80s, 90s. And I read a lot of comments. Everybody is saying, I want to go back to that time. I want to return to that time. See, does that sound weird? It seems to me, it sounds to me that we shift to this new program, okay? And we want to go back to the old, right? And this is part of the matrix simulation. No matter what's going on in the external world, we also have a dimension within us. And that's more important than the external, because the external is trying to distracting us. It's trying to make us fear and make us obey to the system, to the matrix. So our job here is to manipulate energy to ascend into the higher dimension to escape this matrix. Because humanity, it's going to split into new earth and old earth. And Dolores Canyons talk about this long ago. Eckhart Tolle also wrote a book about new earth. And new earth, old earth, it's basically our consciousness. Our new consciousness, our own consciousness. Our consciousness is the real reality. Our consciousness is multi-dimensional traveler. Put it that way. Okay. Our body is not a body. Okay. It's a container. The, the ET call it, it's a container. And I believe this word container has multiple meanings. So the next episode, I'm actually going to share a second part of what I've been receiving download about Earth. Okay. If you're interested to learn more about this type of information, or how do you shift yourself to the new Earth, I am starting a school committee called Quantum Consciousness Portal. And I put a link in the show notes in the description for you to join for free right now. It's a waiting list, but it's free just to join right now. Okay. Or if you have downloading, channeling experience and you don't know what's going on, you are also welcome to join, and we're sharing experience and come together to explore together. I know this is very out there and many people might not accept this yet. So take it or leave it. This is a very natural flowing information, and everybody is on their own journey. So if you feel this is not for you, that's okay. All right. And again, I'm sharing my experience here. Some people might say, oh, no, you didn't. You didn't experience that. But I'm thinking in my head, how do you know what I experienced? No judgment here. If you want to leave any kind of comments, any feedbacks, everything is welcome. And I will love to read them either way. And some of them I'll share here on the show. So if you have any experience like this that you would like to add on, then I would love to hear from you. Alrighty? So remember to subscribe to this channel, because 94% of non-subscriber who's watching these videos, we need to come together because we are all connected, right? And all these information downloading to us, or even this video, my video, come to your field, that means we're connected. We're connected in the quantum field, where everyone is interconnected. Okay? So until next episode, stay safe out there and peace within.